Duval. Nope! Nope! Nope!
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100!
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's gonna make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100!
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, cut it.
Keeping it 100.
He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're moused up like the Jew and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names. We have 2 fucking games.
Spark a play or a captain, all of the up there. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100!
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it
man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil.
Keep it 100!
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is good, TTNL family? Oh, excuse me. We are back. It's Wednesday night. I'm Sheree, your girl, Lady Bear. You know the guys. We just got some new OCs, DCs. Of course, the guys are going to get into that. And while everybody else is talking about the Super Bowl, nobody asked for.
Fuck you, Bullets.
Our guys are definitely going to be talking all Bears. So without further ado, let me bring in the guys that you really came to see. Mr. Draft Dr. Phil and Mr. Shane.
Hey.
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 Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Miss Deborah.
Hi, Miss Deb. My number one fan right there.
She is.
Don't
Jesus.
forget it.
Knew how bad Sheree was berating us in the pre-show. We had to start late. A couple words I never even heard before.
I love all. You guys know I love you.
It sounds like the whole crew is sick. Vargas is, I'm not even sure what Vargas is doing back there in the background.
He's just chilling with his hoodie on.
Okay.
Watching the
Is he
Matrix.
alive?
Watching the Matrix. Alan Ratcher.
Put on your favorite song.
He's looking at the Dodgers depth chart, probably.
I'm waiting on these fucking downloads from the for the tape for the next.
There he is.
The next. The dance video has been retired. We have to replace the music on it. We'll break it back out. Miss Deborah said she's going to send me a new one. So
Oh, I got
Right,
some
yeah.
videos of her dancing. If that's
Oh, send them over,
Uh-oh.
Sheree.
Prove it.
Does your mom get up like at weddings when
my
that's
mom.
when
if
the
she-
song comes on?
she
Let me.
would-
What is that song?
Which one? My mom dances to anything.
The line
Fuck.
dance song. Like, why am I?
Electric slide, the
Electric slide, yes.
slide, the wobble. Yes, she does it
A
all.
wobble.
What's that 1x2 Live Crew? I'm kidding.
You'll probably dance to that too, though. My mom is a Chicago stepper for real, though. So
Yeah, she knows.
I heard she was in the Honey Bears till Virginia put a stop to it.
Put the kibosh to it.
the hater.
Jesus. Virginia's a
Bring
big
back
ass
the
leader.
Honey Bears. Like I know, honestly, with all due respect to Virginia, whenever it's time for her to go on to the next life, I hope to God they bring back the Honey Bears. Like, what is like? There's no need for this. It's not 1985. And I mean, they might go ahead and sleep with all the dudes, but that's not your business. As long as they dance professionally and are entertaining, that's all I care about. Put some cheerleaders back on the field. That's what I would like.
Model.
That's right. I agree with Ivan.
That's right. Some people can
Eric
make it on
Hunt.
Some people can make it on Patreon. Others can't.
Exactly.
How's my backside look?
It looks very, very, very far away.
Yeah, we're not in Chicago.
Yeah, we're
Not
not
in
in
Boston either, though.
on Boston. Never pretended we were from Chicago.
I mean, I'm
Don't
from
even-
Chicago. Like I'm
Yeah,
still
Ivan's from
fucking here
Chicago.
Were you
suffering.
born and raised?
What do you think?
Yeah,
No, like what hospital were you born in?
Chicago Hospital.
Illinois Masonic.
Huh?
Illinois Masonic.
Illinois Masonic. Is there a commercial for it? Like,
No, I don't. I
come
think
to Illinois Masonic. They closed that shit down.
it might be. I don't know. Like,
Where were your kids born?
my kids. Now that's a different story.
Yeah.
They're from Chicago.
Because they
Oh,
were
no.
They're from
military
Chicago. They
babies.
weren't born there.
There you go.
Yeah.
I always laughed when fans were like, y'all ain't even from Chicago. You can't even speak on this shit.
Yeah, I mean, have they ever heard of NFL Sunday Ticket? I mean, that's the entire fucking reason for it.
I have more credential as a fan than someone who could wake up every day, just turn it on. I used to crawl under the fence to get behind this sports bar to be able to watch the Bears in 1990 when I was 17 years old, 16 years old.
Duval.
The addiction is real.
It is. Yeah, I mean,
Laugh. No one's leaving. No
I'm
one's
not leaving.
No one's leaving the Bears. If they fuck this up, you're still gonna be here.
My daughter wore a hoodie to daycare yesterday and was taking some grief from the it's
Dude.
retired teachers
Oh.
that are there. So,
Because of your Bears hoodie? She was wearing a
oh,
Bears.
they're just, yeah, I mean, Bears are terrible. You shouldn't like the Bears. And so, Daddy took care of that today when he went.
Bears are on a comeback. Don't
That's
listen to Chris Canty.
I'm so proud. I have got me a little Bears fan. My little godson he tells his dad, who's a Steelers fan, like he roots for the Bears, and I was like, that's right.
Yes.
Nice.
He sees where the real quarterbacks are. Put that one through the goal.
Yep. Ratted it.
Y'all are haters.
All these people are born in Illinois Masonic. Look at this.
Illinois Masonic. They said he closed down after Ivan because he's a legend.
Yeah.
They fucking shut the room.
There's Vargas. Let's close this bitch down.
I ate them fucking dry. That's what I did. I killed the cafeteria. They had to close.
It was the one movie when I was a kid that scarred me. My brothers put Rosemary's Baby on, and I was like 5 or 6 watching this shit. And I like literally had nightmares for days on that. I don't know if you've ever seen Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Yes. Very long.
My
I
mom
was
texted me asking me to say where I was born.
Where were you born?
Born in the west side of Philadelphia.
Oh gosh, it's a story. It's a funny story, but
In a cab.
Jackson Park Hospital on 75th and Stony.
Oh,
that works.
If we were having a show, we'd getting shout out to anyone else that was born there.
I don't think
No, not many people.
it's a rough hospital.
Oh boy, was Ivan the fucking security?
They don't want me fucking. They don't fucking want me.
Come on in here, Miss Deborah. We got you. We got you.
She's complained how many times? Sitting right here. I don't give a fuck how old she is. She's gonna eat the food.
Tell them. Send the message.
Oh. How many? Listen, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you need to subscribe. The numbers show there's 40% of our audience doesn't subscribe but tunes in every week. If you're one of those guys, just don't be a lazy ass punk like a lot of these Chiefs fans. Just subscribe to TTNL.
You lit the fuse there.
Oh my God. So that video I posted, it was 14 seconds or 30 seconds. Went viral, Cherie. And I was right. Josh Allen crossed the fucking line.
Yeah.
Got the first down to the point where they're actually taking the technology next year and putting it into the ball. But it's sad that the Bills have to suffer. I have no horse in this race.
You know what rhymes with the ball?
Duval.
Whenever we get a rhyme, we gotta play it. But this fucking thing, this video went viral, and I got fired up because the integrity of the game is at stake. It's not a shot at the Chiefs. It's just the reality of the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
When I see the official who's on the ball facing side coming in to spot the ball for a first down, and by now everybody's seen this shit. But I put this up instantly because Ask Shane, I was so fucking infuriated with the officials. And if you're one of those analytics nerd blog boy fucks who's going to sit here and tell me in my 35 years of coaching and being around this game, the game isn't won or lost there, though. They had their... You don't know shit about football and momentum. As a coach, you're up 22-21, and you're driving down the field. You're controlling the game. You could possibly score and get yourself up to 8, forcing them to be erratic. You don't know what's going to happen. So don't sit there and say that it's okay, the game. That's for the fucking Carmens of the world. Anyone named Carm could fucking talk like that. I can't. I'm going to sit in the fucking box of truth. If this was baseball, I'm in the batter's box, ready to rip a double and win. Get this shit figured out.
Honestly, you're not going to hit the ball, Phil. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Oh.
You're not going to hit the ball.
Outed by the Texas Rangers. I have a whole baseball backstory. It's my best sport, to be honest, but I just hated it. Now, looking back, as my dad said, you should have stuck with it.
No.
Hey, get to the point where these old-ass fucks are coming off 7 yards, running, chasing to spot. You can't do that. You have to freaking put guys on the line. Do you know there's no cameras on these line markers? They didn't take a measurement in this. Now, The play before was a first down. And that's on McDermott for not challenging the spot. He should have. That's why you talk about maniacal. You have to be maniacal. You have to be in every situation knowing this shit is close because your eyes are on it, coach. That shit was too close. I got to challenge this.
I'm rooting for KC. Carey, yes.
Yeah, me and Shane have had this talk. I cannot root for KC.
I cannot root for Philly.
I'm with you, Phil.
I cannot root for this.
Well, mine's family.
You know.
Yeah.
I give Shane a pass based on his situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's between a shit and a fart.
Yep.
So we call it. So he's stuck.
Yeah, I'm fucking moving.
Where he's going.
You know where I'm moving, Phil?
Duval.
Heard it's nice down there. Heard it's nice. But yes, I just had to get that off my chest. It was a first down. And these guys blew it. And just think, looking in the mirror, the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost. Now they've gone to 4 AFC championships and lost. That's got to be hard. You got to give Bill. So I feel for them. I felt for them in that situation. And I will stand up for the truth. Any fucking analytical blog boy trying to show me a fucking still shot frame before he gets to the line is pathetic. Don't be that. I respect the Chief fan that says, you know what, we got away with that shit. It sucks, but it is what it is. I respect that. I don't respect you making excuses like it isn't a first down. No, bro. Every angle,
Well, you know how it is, man.
If I was a Bears fan,
no, I get it.
Like that, I'd be like, dude, we fucking got away with that.
But I mean, it's just fans are gonna fan, and they're gonna listen. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, and can I sit here and say that the Bulls didn't get away with some shit back in their heyday that probably would have been called out? And I'm the biggest Bulls fan there is.
They got away with it with the Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying? They earlier than that. So
we weren't flopping like LeBron does, but you know.
Don't get me started with the Bulls.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Bullet's reaction in the comments.
Fuck you, Bullets.
But yeah, I had that. It's still going now. People are still debating on that thing. It's crazy to me. But you just see, you lose faith in humanity because some people are just so psychotic, threatening violence over this shit. It's like, what? I don't have a horse in the race. People thinking I'm a Bills fan or something. No. I'm a fan of the game, and the integrity of the game is lost when we can't get these calls right. And it's unfortunate because that could be our Chicago Bears in that same situation. Real quick, I was watching this. Someone sent me this great reel. It's this law professor, and he comes into the room ready to give his, lesson to the class. And it's one of those rooms, that goes up like an auditorium. So he gets to the front of the podium and goes, "You, miss." She's like, "Me? Yeah, you. Out. I don't want you here. I don't want you listening to my class, my lesson." Everyone's looking at her in the room, all the other students. She doesn't know what to do. She's kind of shocked. "Yeah, get out," he says. Doubles, triples down on her. She picks up her stuff. She leaves. Not one of the people saying anything. They're all looking at the teacher. Then the teacher goes, "This is your first lesson. How many of you thought that it was okay that I did that?" No one raised their hand. Exactly. How many of you stepped up for her? Nobody. He's like, "This is your first lesson in law. You got to fight for the truth. What I did to her was unfair and wrong. So someone has to step up because it's going to be the next person that feels it, or you're going to be in that situation." And that's what TTNL is about. I felt that spirit because we've always been on the front line of calling out the truth. It's before Ivan was here, before Cherie was with, just always standing firm on the tape, telling the truth of this game of football. And we're in a 90-something percentile of being correct. So look at my backside. We got a lot of haters out there. Look at Shane's backside.
No,
Go do that. Stop being a little.
Hell no, I
thick.
don't want to look at that.
I have no interest in telling people that over and over and
Stop
over and
portraying
over again.
that you don't
weird.
know who we are. You're all poaching. Pathetic. Yes, I'm referring to somebody. I'm referring to Mr. Pat.
Either way,
Play that game. It's pathetic.
Let Pat do his thing. I don't care. It's cool. Do your thing, Pat. Good for you. Anyways, the Bears have a new passing game coordinator tonight.
Former OC in Duval.
Press Taylor. Now the Jaguars fans are flooding X, saying that they're glad they didn't get Ben Johnson because Ben Johnson is obviously a fan of Press Taylor. So, yeah, well, have fun, Jacksonville.
Duval.
Listen,
maybe it'll work out for maybe that's the new biting kneecaps. Who knows? I mean,
that's what I'm
stranger things have
I don't
happened.
give a fuck. Just like you said, I wanted to see. I don't know who Ben Johnson is going to be. I've been told by people I trust who he is. But until we see it, we don't know. So it's fun to have some fun here because he is quirky and weird. This coach, Liam Cohen.
Yeah. Well, and I think it says something that, and people aren't talking about this from the Bears' perspective. He interviewed to be the Bears OC last year. He was in that group that they ended up zeroing in on. No. I'm talking about Liam Cohen.
Oh, yes, that's right. He was in that group.
He was included on that, so much so that they did not bring him back to talk to him this year. So they may have felt a certain way last year with him. And I think that probably says quite a bit. I mean, yeah, he is a quirky dude, but quirky doesn't mean that you're not going to be a valid NFL head coach.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them out there, but yeah, I can just imagine if that was Chicago and he did something like that here, it would just, it would be, everybody would be melting down. It would be the biggest thing. I mean, we talked about the CHGO guy saying that the Bears fans are eating it up because Rick Smith, Ben Johnson's agent, is saying that the Bears process was one of the best that he's seen. And he was,
he's saying he's kissing ass.
Yeah. And why would he his guys already got the job. What are they going to do? Fucking fire him? If Rick Smith came out,
I agree with you. I don't think Rick Smith goes out of his way to kiss anybody's ass. He's just telling it truthfully because he's been admittedly a fan of the Chicago Bears growing up is Rick Smith. And he knew how the Bears have been run for the last 30 years with fucking
the guy that he shit on was Ted Phillips.
Ted Phillips with Millhouse.
He came out and said it's a $1 billion corporation run like a mom and pop shop, which you have heard here multiple times.
Olin Kreutz said it. Big Steve said it. Eric Kramer said it. Chris Zorich said it. Richard Dent has gone out and said it. Anthony Thomas, Thomas Jones, Akeem Hicks said it. All these people are a chorus saying the same shit. My uncle Sam Rutigliano said the same shit. The priority was never football. If you listen to Rick Smith's interview, and shout out to Bill Zimmerman for getting that interview and doing a great job there with it. and having Rick just be transparent about it. I think that's where the Bears miss the ball a lot. They don't understand that fans are a lot more educated than coffee with coach or
100%
watered down interviews. Get someone authentic, get a former Bear player that has played the game, has a good personality, and ask the tough questions. That's what today's world is. They want to know the backstory. I'm watching, what's that show with Noriega drinks? What's the name of that pod? Sheree, you ever see it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hip hop podcast, and
no,
they're drinking, taking shots when someone doesn't answer a question or doesn't wanna. It's a really good show. Drink Champs. Thank you, W70. But you're listening to these guys talk about the past history. It's what you and I have done, Shane, with our guests.
Mm-hmm.
You know, getting Brian Urlacher to open up and getting Olin to talk truthfully and joking about fucking grain of salt and all of that. That's where this Chicago Bears organization needs to go and open up, instead of having these sound bites or these trolling ass tweets that come out, or having a show where you're hypocritically not blocking or you run a route like you're a fucking Ford F-150 and you're calling yourself a dynamic tight end. No.
Well, that's the thing too, man. And just to get back to Rick Smith real quick, that he was critical of a lot of teams in the NFL, pretty much all of them. He's like, you would think that they talk to each other all the time, and they really don't. They don't know what's going on in everybody's, place of business. He goes, that's, I do, he said, because him being an agent, so he's in contact with, people everywhere. But
he had no reason.
The mic drop moment was, he said you have to give Kevin Warren praise because he made the Bears realize how you have to run a football team in the 21st century.
Bro,
they were not.
We didn't know. Just go back. Have Jack or Caden Whitlow go back. This is the Kevin Warren moment. We said it once they fired Eberflus in the season. Now we're going to find out who Kevin Warren is. We already were upset with, there's never been confirmation of Jim Harbaugh being turned away because of Kevin Warren. That has never been said to me. I've talked to a lot of people. That's been a rumor that has gone out, just like Declan Doyle is Mike Ditka's fucking nephew.
Yeah,
someone writes that shit, then it runs with it. Like some of these assholes that fake quote, AI quote Caleb Williams. And these morons are believing it. Oh, him saying that about Jaden, that shit's gonna come back. He's saying, what are you doing here? Like, what are you believing? But anyway, to your point, you had said that. I had said that. This is time. Is Kevin Warren gonna put Georgie in a corner and dirty dance all over Chicago? That's what we needed to find out.
Right.
According to Rick Smith, who's directly talking to him, Joey.
I just don't understand.
The truth. Kevin put his money. Cap came out and said he spoke to somebody.
I just don't understand
Bears organization.
I just don't understand what it's based on, other than. And listen, the Bears
don't pick on the Bears.
The Bears don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. We can be honest with that, but it doesn't mean that Rick Smith is out there just kissing ass. He came right out and said, he's like, guys, I realize my 15 minutes is almost up.
He did.
He made that comment.
He said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That's what we want. I want to know. I think Ryan Poles does a shitty job being nervous. Don't be nervous.
If you're
be authentic.
If you're going to be out there kissing a franchise's ass, are you in the same breath? He shit all over him, and it's the same people that have been there. So that's where I'm not buying it. Because he
100%.
essentially said before Kevin Warren got here, this place was a fucking shit show.
It was a mom and pop.
So that is a direct,
small-minded football.
everything
we said.
Ryan, Poles, everybody. That's a shot at all of them.
All.
So I don't see where it's just out there kissing ass.
It's not. It's fun to make a joke about the Bears.
Right. It's low hanging fruit, and
he's a good guy though. Good guy. Fuck. It's lazy analysis. It's just no different than Chris Canty and his bullshit. And shout out, toast to Cap and Hoodie for taking Chris Canty to the fire. This is the stuff that we need here, that we do here.
Yeah,
this is the same recipe here. We hold them. Obviously, Chris Canty's not going to come on with us. So we need someone that's going to hold their feet to the fire with the manipulative bullshit. Don't try to backpedal and twist your shit. You called him Sam Bowie. You called him a bust. The numbers are the same, and the authenticity of analysis is not. So put your little fucking bullshit.
That's what ESPN is, man. That's all it is. It's for clicks. We see lots of people making crazy statements to get attention because it drives interactions. That's what today is, unfortunately. It makes people millions of dollars. It is what it is, man. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. And that's where people get upset with us. At least if we have a problem with somebody, we're going to say it live on air and use names and not pussyfoot around them. And that's why people, if you don't like us, don't fucking watch. It's pretty simple. Lots of other places. Internet's a big fucking place. You can go find your Bears content elsewhere. Don't care.
Well, that's the best way to do it because we're not going to change. When I talk offensive line coaches and say someone's trash or a head coach is trash and people get at me, and then I'm proven right, there's no flowers going Phil's way on certain airwaves. There ain't. So I look at it, okay, who's loyal? Who's respectful? Who's going to shout out Shane Marsaw?
Not Greg.
Definitely not Greg. Who's going to go out of
Greg?
Barb does.
Barb.
She texted me tonight.
Addie and Barb, that's it.
I did try to convert Addie the other night on the phone, but she trying to switch her allegiances in baseball teams, but she wasn't having it.
It's not smart.
Yeah.
I'm not smart.
Stay away from allegiances. Let them be loyal. The reality is
Eddie's right where she needs to be, first of all, Shane. Right where she needs to be as a baseball fan.
Don't buy her Kyle Tucker jersey.
Really,
he ain't staying either.
She really watching baseball?
Yeah, man.
How many baseball games do you honestly watch in a season?
Who, me?
Yeah, like around about.
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah, dude. Come on. I took your T-Mobile account last year because of it, for Christ's sake.
It's the least I could do for you.
Yeah. A lot of them. That was the way, like, my youth growing up. My dad is into baseball like I'm into football. So every single night in the summertime, I could hear my dad's bedroom on his little clock radio, listening to Vin Scully call the Dodgers games because they're on the West Coast. So the games out there would start at 10:35 p.m. East, back where I am in New York. So that was like my My childhood. Yeah.
I watched baseball as a kid.
Yeah.
And despite what Ivan thinks, I'm not too. I barely talk about myself, football or baseball, basketball. But I know one thing. I really took it for granted how good I was at baseball, and hitting the ball was a shortstop. I got stories for days.
T-ball or hardball?
He was a shortstop. That talk about funny as fuck.
You know I was going to be a shortstop. T-ball. I know I'm short, right? I played
a
short.
lot of baseball.
I watched it, and then as I got older, I can go to a game and watch baseball. I can watch the World Series, like playoff baseball.
I never used to miss a Bulls game ever, and now my basketball consumption is mainly my son. I mean, it's
same with me, but you know what?
I used to record Bulls games if I couldn't watch it, so I could, I'd come home and watch it.
NBA, honestly, is the worst. It is the worst pro sport. Watching it, to me, I tried to watch the NBA. College basketball is like night and day to it. I've been watching a lot of college basketball.
You can't say it's the worst, Phil. Soccer.
Oh yeah.
Phil, were you the shortest?
Forgot about soccer.
I was the shorter shortstop.
You were the shortest stop?
Yes. Yes. Shortstop, number 22. Always wore 22.
I was number 22 in baseball.
Yeah. I stand corrected. Ivan's correct. I give credit. Look, this is how you do it, Shane. We teach people, even in the audience. You know what? Ivan's right when he said NBA is the worst. He corrected me saying the NBA is the worst sport to watch. It's soccer is the worst sport to watch for me, in my opinion.
I love all.
He's
We're
right.
not talking about that sport, Sheree.
He's right. I just can't watch a soccer game.
Yeah, I mean, I watch soccer but when my son plays, but I've never, if it's like the World Cup or whatever like that, and the U.S. was in it's not like the men have ever played in a big match in the World Cup, but you get my point. I watch my son play soccer. That's about it.
Got you.
Cars is a soccer coach.
Cars?
Yes.
Is he bringing his analytical?
Do you know that the
Adam Rank is a soccer coach.
The movie with Will Ferrell and Mike Ditka, that soccer movie.
Oh yeah,
Kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming. You know the outfit that Will Ferrell wears to coach in. Cars
is it like a sweatsuit?
Yeah, and it's got like tiger stripes on it. Cars bought that and wore it to coach it. Just to be
I give them props for that. I like that. Fucking Adam Rank's a soccer coach.
Yeah, he is.
And listen, all I've heard is Kyle Brandt's a better soccer coach than he is.
Yeah, he just stepped into a pile of dog shit, actually. Kyle Brandt.
Finally?
Yeah, he did that Rocky Ford.
Oh my God.
Being a Bills fan, but then the next day he's like, I don't know why people are painting the Kansas City Chiefs to be villains. Enjoy greatness. And you're like, you just did this fucking segment the day before calling them Drago, the fucking supervillain.
I don't know who's like if there's a Mount Rushmore for the worst football people on television, that's where we need Kyle Brandt has to be in the conversation.
Greg Bragg.
Dan Orlovsky.
Greg Bragg.
Greg Bragg. No, not Greg.
I'm not smart.
Dan Orlovsky. Kyle. Let's see if you put a list together. of people.
Can it
on
just
television.
be TV? Because I mean, if we're getting into Ray, I'm putting like Dan Bernstein up there. I think he's
It would have to just
horrible.
be TV.
Just TV.
We can have a radio one as well.
Oh, if I'm going TV, I'm putting Colin Cowherd up there pretty fucking
Colin
high.
Cowherd.
Yeah.
We need to come up with a top. How many coaches did we interview, Ivan? 17?
Just about something like that. 16?
16 or 17.
Something like
We
that.
we'll put a list of 17. Let's get that list.
We're never gonna give you a list. We're never gonna give you a list. And
really hard worker.
One thing that we have never told you on here is don't listen to this person or go watch their. We've never said that.
Exactly.
Our guy Ghost, whatever his name was, put that in there. TTNL doesn't need to be telling me who.
Oh, Space Ghost.
Space Ghost. I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah, first of all, that's never
is
fucking
this guy?
look,
Who the
We've taken issue with people. We've never said don't go watch their
ever.
shit.
If I take a shot at a Twitter guy, an analytical guy, a phony tape guy, you will never hear me say don't. I can totally admit that I don't know why people watch this guy, but that's it. Never steering anybody. That's this show.
But
if you can't take it with your white ass fucking glasses, settle the fuck down and don't fucking have a show, because that's where we do. That's what we do.
Well, if you're a big boy in the industry, I mean, clearly,
right,
you're in that position, and good for you. But that's gonna be part of the process, is to be critiqued. And if you're thin-skinned, which clearly you are,
then
that's on you. That's on you too.
I'm gonna tell you, shit in your hat and get the hell off the field.
Soft as puppy shit. I want to know, how do you block power versus an under front? Tell me that. Come on the show and tell me how they do that. Then I'll know. But sitting there writing people off left and right, pumping yourself up, pathetic. And that's why I have a big problem with phony tape people. That's why we went after so-and-so, such and such. You could put them in there.
Give me some fucking names. We always use names. I don't know who the fuck said, give me some fucking names. That guy sounds fucking amazing, but we always use names.
The reality of where people are talking football goes back to Chris Canty and what he was selling. I mean, it's the biggest, most pathetic thing. And again, if I was drinking liquor, which I'm just drinking ice water, guys, I would do a shot toast to Hoodie and Cap.
Yeah, Hoodie was. I thought Hoodie was more fired up. Shout out to Hoodie. I'm wearing his actual under the hood swag here.
Wearing his swag.
Yeah. Hoodie was real fired up, I thought, about it. And it was just a dumb fucking comment by Chris Canty. I mean, I wish I would have loved to have been on there, because guys
had so many things.
Guys like that, you have to go right back at and just say, they're calling, world champion, and just say, Chris, thank God for Eli Manning, or you wouldn't have shit, because that Giants team was all about the quarterback, which I know it's not, but that's what you say to him.
Right.
Chris, you're lucky you came along for the ride with Eli Manning, or you wouldn't have shit. You put him on the spot that way, and then that's going to fire him up like he's trying to fire Bears fans up. You just turn it around and put it right back in his lap. And like you could see him back. Oh, listen, maybe that was a bad analogy. No, it wasn't bad. It was just fucking dumb.
It wasn't even an analogy, because the point of the reference, and I know Hoodie was getting to this, the meat on that bone, and you just called Caleb Williams a bust. That's what you did, despite the comparison. The analogy in and of itself is saying Caleb's a
The
bust.
thing about it is Sam Bowie was a bust because he couldn't stay healthy.
I don't
That was
know
why.
Sam Bowie's story.
Yeah, he had foot issues and kept on breaking his leg. That's what it was. He had people going out of his way. Bob Knight talked to Portland before the 84 draft. He said, you better take Jordan. And they said, we need a center. And he said, then play Jordan at center. That's what you need. That's what he told him. And by the way, we're 17 games in to careers. So
17.
Nobody's story has been written yet. I don't give a shit. Listen, Jaden Daniels has played extremely well. I'm not going to sit here and say that he hasn't. Has his story been written? No. Mark Sanchez went to 2 AFC title games in a row his first couple of years. It doesn't make a fucking career. We'll see how it happens. We'll see what happens next. That's
Well, I
it.
think one of the points, there's 2 things I want to get to, and I don't want to forget. I have a tendency to forget. Number 1 is football negligence. Now, football negligence can't be just passed aside and kicked to the curb. A lot of these shows, including the one Greg's on, kick it to the curb like it doesn't matter. When it really, really does matter that your head coach was a cornball, pathetic piece of garbage, and your offensive coordinator who you hired was soft and happier than Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood and had no control over the offense or anything. While your rookie quarterback is withstanding the worst offensive line coach in football with a poor offensive line athletes across the board. You had one, we could say Tevin Jenkins when healthy and Darnell Wright are your 2. Okay, these guys can compete to start on other people's rosters. Braxton Jones is not. Nobody else on the line is not. So here's this young quarterback facing the prospects of a soft coach, a softer offensive coordinator, and a philosophy that follows that softness around him, and a locker room culture that's pathetic. When they tried to sell it, wasn't. When we here were saying it was, you should have fired Eberflus. You should have matched up the coach and the quarterback together. But since you didn't, you brought this negligence on this young quarterback, just like putting a kid in a volatile, violent home and he's neglected. That's not how you grow a kid. So for what Caleb did, despite that situation, should be looked at and applauded in a different scope. To put up the numbers and put up these situations where he's putting you in a position to win on Thanksgiving in front of the country, and the coach pisses down his leg, and then Caleb's taking shrapnel. Why didn't he call a timeout? Why didn't he call a timeout? He don't have. Why is he taking all these sacks? No one's putting perspective. Chris Canty at 48 could penetrate the defensive line and get a sack on Caleb as well, based on what we saw out there. That's how pathetic. So to do that,
my money would be on Braxton Jones shutting his ass down.
To do all that within the culture of chaos, I called it, should be looked at a hell of a lot differently by Chase Daniel, by Dan Orlovsky, by all of Chris Canty, by all of these guys. They're still burying Caleb Williams versus this Jaden Daniels, who's, let's look at what they had. They had a new ownership, completely Magic Johnson, all of the owners, all of the positivity built into this season, getting a rookie. Let's surround him with a young offensive mind, former head coach that our coach was afraid to hire for fear that he might lose his job. And they go over there and they put together a team that Caleb, I should say, went down, drove them down, and beat them until your boy Tyreek Stevenson and the Hail Mary completely crushes your season because that's how soft you are. So let's count the games. Minnesota, Detroit on Thanksgiving, Detroit again, onside kick, drive down there. We know the Green Bay should have been twice.
The onside kick was Minnesota, right?
Was it Minnesota?
I think so. Maybe
Minnesota,
I'm wrong.
You're probably right.
Washington.
The Detroit game, Washington. He's putting you.
Was Minnesota? I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So look at this in perspective. None of them do this.
You have a picture.
I'm not saying Caleb Williams is free of football sins. He's got to get better. 100%. But to look at numbers, tape, and situation and talk about him like he's a bust is pathetic. It's honestly completely untrue. But what makes it even worse is it attaches a bunch of meatballs to your narrative. And then you're destroying a young person's, and I'm not saying it's gonna, but we've seen it destroy people's confidence. Now Ben Johnson's here, and I don't know what Ben is going to be, but I know he's more capable of an offensive coordinator than anything we've had in the last 15 years. That I know. How he is as a head coach, I don't know, but I'd love, and I know Shane loves, the fact that he attached himself to Antoine Randall L. I think that is going to be immense for this football team, their culture. And Chris, you're 100% right. One guy can sink the whole ship.
Damn right.
I always say you got to surround yourself with good people. I'm not going to pretend I know anything about Declan Doyle. I was disappointed that it wasn't David Shaw. Anybody that knows me would know that. But
that doesn't mean that that's a negative against Declan, because I should have highlighted it. Somebody in the chat earlier said they were disappointed in Declan Doyle because they wanted somebody that could command a room. And how do you know? You don't know that.
I didn't know this, but he's even more pathetic.
You don't necessarily need him to command the room when you have Ben Johnson. What you need him to do is just have control of his group, right? You needed him to do his job because, I mean, the architect of the offense, is Ben Johnson,
right.
And he just needs somebody to be right there next to him. It's not necessarily he has to command that room. He needs to have his guys in the proper positions. Ben is the ultimate leader. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes. If he came in, I'm glad you said that, Ivan. I'm an offensive guy. I can coach both. I'm just prefer offense, calling play. If I take the head coaching job, I'm calling plays because it's my name. It's my attachment to this football team. I'm going to make sure situationally I'm locked in because I know how much it comes up in a drive, let alone a half or an end of game. So what he defined the role as the OC was very transparent. You're going to be up late at night putting together some plans that we're going to go over when I get to it, and we're going to sit down, and probably you're going to include Caleb. He'd be completely remiss if he doesn't include Caleb in the game plan per week. But what this Declan's priority is going to be is to help him organize, get the practice schedules, get the critical main points, watch, cut, clip, tape, get it ready.
He's going to get like a pre-game plan prepared for that. And we don't know, Phil, that he could have went and talked to David Shaw about that.
No, 100. You said this to me.
Just out of respect to David Shaw, I don't want to say that anything is beneath somebody, in terms of coaching, but David Shaw has been around the NFL for years and years and years and been in Division I football for years and years. And that very well could have been David Shaw may not have wanted to be, in that position. I know that he interviewed for it. And listen, I'm not saying that he's a Rooney Rule guy, because I think he's a much better coach than that. But I'm just saying, you don't know all the logistics of all of this.
Well, to your point, I would say, yeah, in this situation, David wouldn't be calling plays, and David is more, he interviewed for the head coaching job for a reason. I'm excited about David Shaw because I know how he teaches and what he is as a coach. My thing about having him there would be the good cop, bad cop. I know who I am. So my message would be, it's not gray. It's white and black. That's it. Black and white. This is it. And I need that guy that's going to go behind me, not talking shit. Listen, Caleb, this is what Coach Phil is saying here. And this is what we need. And he re-administrates what I'm saying in that way. If the message isn't getting there, that person steps in and he's qualified to do that. The other thing about David Shaw that I know would be the offensive line coach would be held to another standard. David Shaw is an excellent football coach and line coach. Like, that's where I wanted him. Like, I don't need Mark Brunell here as an offensive coordinator. I want someone, the offensive line coach is the biggest hire of this staff.
Yeah.
To me. But I know what Greg was saying. He's hoping Mark Brunell as a veteran could be a voice because they haven't had a veteran quarterback there. But I don't think I need that. I need
that's what your
head to be the offensive line.
That's what your head coach is. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think people have to get to the point where they look beyond just the surface level with all of these guys. There could be some 4D chess going on. You see a couple instances with the Bears and with them interviewing the offensive line coach from Ohio State. You have 3 draft-worthy offensive linemen from Ohio State that are going to be draft eligible in this draft. You have direct access to them now when you're talking to that guy. And Ivan, I know I'm not going to turn this into draft mob, but the offensive lineman, Simmons, that you and I both talked about, in my book, is the best one available.
Oh, no doubt.
But you have the knee injury. But my point is, you're getting background from his offensive line coach. Maybe he's not a serious contender here. And by the way, David Shaw came from, where is he involved in? What organization? Denver, correct?
David Shaw, I believe so.
Yeah, he was like a consultant, I believe, right? For Denver?
Right.
And where did Declan Doyle come from? Denver.
Well, the other part of David Shaw that I was interested in was because he has, he had offensive connections, at Stanford. He had Andrew Luck, right? For his time there at Stanford.
Yeah,
it would have been cool to have. It would have been interesting to see how he would approach Caleb.
Sure.
And
he called
him.
He called the 2 best quarterbacks that he's ever seen in college. David Shaw said, Andrew Luck, and Caleb Williams. And he said it was a 1A, 1B type scenario. So that is intoxicating in and of itself, getting a guy here that is like that. But part of this could have been David Shaw isn't a dummy. He knows that if he knows Ben Johnson's going to be calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
But you can use this as an information gathering on Declan Doyle.
Yeah.
Just like with the offensive line coach from Ohio State. You're talking to him like he's got a legitimate shot, and they may hire him. You don't think for one fucking second that they're talking about the 3 draft eligible prospects from Ohio State?
Oh, there's no doubt.
100%. That's why I'm saying 4D chess. It feels fucking crazy that we're tying this in with the Chicago Bears doing shit like this, actually looking ahead. But here we are.
Yeah, I would say then, and here we are right now, right? And I'm not trying to shit on everybody's parade right now, but it's like, hey, there is an element of, let's show me, let's see what happens.
I'm not gonna,
exactly.
I mean, if we were
take our time with the whole process, because I think that's kind of what the Bears and Bears fans we want to get to the fucking end. We don't want the process because we're tired of the process, because the process for 30 fucking years has been shit.
Yeah, no, I get
it. And I feel like that's kind of where we need us as Bears fans.
I think,
and I'll be at the top of the list. Just show a little more patience in this.
I think people, Ivan, you've heard me say on TTNL for years at this point with fans, and I'm not talking down to fans because I'm a Chicago Bears fan. But when they're watching football, it's that guy sucks or that guy's fucking amazing. Everybody's heard me say this 1,000 times. There's no middle ground. You either suck or you're amazing.
Right.
And it's really the same fucking way that we're dealing with now. Everybody's sick of getting kicked in the balls. There's nobody that's not excited about Ben Johnson, but I think people are hesitant to say how excited they are because they're like, oh, I'm going to be reserved this time. You're not going to listen. If the Bears go out and go out and sign Trey Smith and Milton Williams in free agency, and then go into the draft and get a couple more offensive linemen and 2 more defensive linemen,
right.
Fucking the keg is going to be fucking tapped.
Yeah. It's that little more. That's just that much.
It doesn't mean that they're going to go out and win 11 games.
No.
It doesn't mean they're going to go out and win 12. It also doesn't mean that they're going to go out and win 3.
Right.
There's going to be a maturation period here.
Right. But when they signed Ben, I said it to you guys. I was like, don't fucking stop. And then once they mentioned Dennis Allen, put the pedal to the fucking metal. Do not worry about what it's going to cost or if the guy fits with your head coach likes him, your GM likes him, pull the trigger, because right now you're in a position where the clock is ticking with a uber talented quarterback and you have to figure it out. This has to be a hit. And I'm not saying they have to win 15 fucking games, but you have to be battling some way, somehow in this division come next season. There has to be some type of a turn where the fans see it and the organization sees it.
And the door, I don't want to sit here and say that the door is not cracked for the Bears. The Bears have a long way to go. I also don't think that this roster is anywhere near as bad as some people are painting it out to be. I mean, I have people that I've known for fucking years that are leaving fucking comments just saying that there's no talent on this roster. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no talent on the roster. Now, all of a sudden, DJ Moore can't play fucking football. Did DJ have his warts this year? Yes, he did. I think that there was some reasons for that.
I think the culture had a lot to do with it.
100%.
And you nip that shit in the bud. These captains, these supposed captains that sit on their hands and complain about shit instead of doing shit, that's a problem too. That's why your head coach is gone. It's not the X's and O's, guys. It's not the X's and O's. It's the fucking Jims and Joes. Get out there, set the tone, and hold everybody to the same standard.
But in that, you're 100% correct, Phil. And I even think that gets overblown a little bit. And just hear me out. I don't think on teams that everybody is going to be treated the exact same way. And you heard, Jimmy Johnson.
Bill Parcells had a different clause for Lawrence Taylor.
Jimmy Johnson said
but the whole team has a different clause.
If
Khalil Mack is the same thing.
Jimmy Johnson said if his fourth-string running back falls asleep in a meeting, he's going to cut him.
Correct.
If Emmitt Smith falls asleep in the meeting, he's going to say, Emmitt, get up, pay attention.
Listen, I'll tell you, there is a different.
Bruce would have went over and fucking gave him a binky and a blanket. I mean,
correct.
They're pacifying all of this shit.
They went back on what their structure is.
He already apologized.
Right. He apologized on Twitter. That doesn't work. And you're 100% correct. There is a pedigree where, and this is the only caveat to the pedigree. I want it to be very clear because you're going to have some YouTube fucks that are going to, you're talking out of your ass because if a guy, said player, comes to work and busts his ass every fucking day to set a standard of who that guy is, and everybody sees it, that guy's going to have a lot more leeway because he's the one doing it the right way. Now, everyone will know, I could just speak for me. I'm going to keep, if all of you would look at what the fuck Ivan's bringing to the table, then I will use that. I'll just straight out. We're living in a day and age. Cole Kmet, you fucking suck on the wham block. Get your ass up. He said my name. If that's your fucking locker room culture and you can't call him out for a shitty wham block.
Oh, right. No, I totally agree.
We got a fucking serious problem. And it's beyond culture. The next guy comes in and says that straight sentence. Learn your shit. Mr. Tyreek, come up and wrap the fuck up. Hey, Austin Booker, next time you make a good play, wrap. It ain't going to be you on the field if you ain't wrapping up. Kid was in a bunch of opportunities to make plays, and he's throwing his body in there. Like coach has to hold them to the standard. And trust me, they want to be held to a standard. A good 100%. Football player does.
Well, look at the players that said that they want to be coached harder.
Right. Listen, Cole Kmet could be a star if he works on his craft and comes in and becomes the guy he's going to be. Cole, you watch here, I'll tell you straight up, if you're working plyometrics and explosive drills with your size and God-given athletic ability, your ability to separate in those twitchy moments isn't there right now. You have to get there. That's why it's going to be Kelsey is so good. Watch him at the stem. He could probably run a 4.8, 4.9, but he's so twitchy at the stem, he's wide open.
Yeah, and listen, man, it's just to go back to Rick Smith, and you have to pull out little key sentences in what he said. One of the big things when they were asking,
good point, Kurt,
on the Zoom meeting,
we're dancing down 30.
Are you married to this roster? So what does that mean? That means there's going to be some guys on this roster that you think that they're fucking set in stone here, and they're not. You're gonna
Bro.
see guys. You're gonna see guys.
That was a big quote.
Big time. Yeah.
He ain't kissing ass.
No.
That point right there, like, and I'll give you credit, Shane. You deserve flowers. And Ivan was patting you on the back when you said it. This is back when this cryptic, I don't even know where it came out of, but it was obviously Eberflus had gotten fired, and it was a couple weeks thereafter, and this tweet comes out where Ben Johnson's looking for a franchise that has a common goal. There's clear identifying organizational
admitting your mistakes.
Admitting your mistake. Right. When that came out, Shane said on this airway, does it seem like he's talking directly to the Chicago Bears at that moment?
And Rick Smith admitted it. He planted it
it out there for a reason.
His exact phrasing was, I gave them the answers to the test, and then it was up to them.
Is that a kiss ass? Is that a kiss ass?
No, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being skeptical of Ben Johnson. I just don't see why Rick Smith would need to go out of his way to praise
pretty up the Bears.
If you really look at it, he shit all over the Bears before Kevin Warren was there and called them all, run like a mom and pop shop.
Well, the antagonist is going to say
shit all over the entire organization.
Well, Shane, he's trying to get in good graces with Kevin now. That's what the antagonist.
He already is. He just hired his head coach.
But I'm just telling you what Carmen would say.
He doesn't need to kiss their ass. What is Kevin Warren going to say? If Rick Smith went on the fucking airwaves, on the Score, or on Zim's podcast, and was critical of the Bears process, but said, you know what, we did feel comfortable enough to have Ben go there. What the fuck? Is Kevin Warren going to fire him? No.
Exactly, bro.
People looking for something to complain about because the Bears have been a woeful franchise. That's why I'm not saying you can't be critical. It just doesn't automatically mean you hired my guy. I'm gonna praise you till the fucking cows come home. He doesn't need to do that. You think he fucking cares?
I agree with you.
His guy is already there and paid. How many fucking guys? He's been a fucking agent forever.
This song's in my head now. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well played, Doug. That song's in my head now. What would Ben Johnson do? I'm sure he'd kick a few ass or two. That all I know about, there's nuggets that are there that are necessary and authentic. The Jeff King stuff is necessary. That was coming out. That Jeff King was a big part of facilitating this bridge for Ben Johnson to feel comfortable with the Bears.
And Jeff King's agent is who? Rick Smith.
He's doing his due diligence in helping his clients. Doesn't take past transgressions with Ryan Poles away. Winning the offseason press conference isn't going to win any games. Everybody that's sitting there going like this, no, he didn't. No,
everybody mocked him just like we're mocking this fucking.
I actually kind of like
Duval.
I didn't like him. I liked Dan Campbell's thing. I was like, all right. It's funny as shit. It's like a WWE wrestling.
I thought it was fucking. I'm like, I believe if you go back and look at it, I'm like, yeah, this dude will be gone in 2 years, 3 years tops.
Right, and he didn't.
But
I loves wrestling like Adam Rank, and that's
back
what he
to the division though. Now there's question marks.
He lost all his coordinators. Will his coaching and culture be able to recoup?
Well, and does the pressure start to build up on Jared Goff now? He's got that massive contract, and he went out and shit down his leg in the playoffs. Now his quarterback, his offensive coordinator is gone. His assistant QB coach is gone. Defensive coordinator is gone. You know what I'm saying? So Minnesota has never fucking scared me ever. They don't scare me now. And now Sam Darnold, who everybody has been praising, shit down his leg and is probably going to be the next quarterback in Vegas. Let's be honest. That's where he's going to go. That's going to be their quarterback. And then you're turning it over to JJ. Is there going to be question marks there? Yes.
100% coming off an injury. He's a rookie.
Green Bay, like I was scared of Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers was kicking our ass every fucking game. No, I'm not. So you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But the Bears listen, I always fucking laugh. And I know I love Courtney and everybody not everybody that covers the Bears, but everybody is saying the same thing now. Well, the Bears have so many holes. You're not going to be able to fix everything in one offseason. I can go out. Listen, I could put a hell of a fucking dent in it.
What did the Washington Commanders do?
If they gave Bill and Shane this job, I guarantee we would get it done. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I agree with you, Shane.
Didn't you send me a fucking text asking how many free agents the Commanders have? Like everybody on their fucking defense.
Yeah, everybody
on their defense.
And I'm not saying to go ahead and sign stupid contracts and bring people in. Okay, Corn. But I was thrown off by that. But but just go ahead and go after. They can go after it this season. Will they? I don't believe so, because it just, to me, I would want them to, like he said initially, Ryan Poles, he wants to build through the draft and free agency, and I believe it's draft then free agency.
I
think it changes.
I would think he goes after it this year in free agency.
Well, he
has to build the middle in free agency.
Everybody is saying that Trey Smith is hitting. It's not just Field Yates. And not only are they saying he's hitting free agency, everybody is tying him specifically to Chicago because of the Ryan Poles connection.
Thanks, Rusty.
Who was his running mate in college, would be his running mate in Chicago, and Darnell Wright. The Bears have the money to pay. Listen, and the way that this is going to work, and people are going to lose their fucking mind, is he's going to make about $25 million a year as an offensive guard.
Right.
That's where the number's going to get to. And you know what? Here's some breaking news. I don't give a fuck.
Look, he's coming to my clip it.
No, but that's the thing. That is your fucking centerpiece of your offensive line.
You're gonna have to get two of them, center and guard.
And they're looking at the center in Atlanta.
There you go. If you go into free agency
for David Shaw in college, and you think they're asking questions to David, of course they were.
You get your center and right guard. You already got Darnell Wright, who we love. Now you're cooking with gas. Now the draft sets itself up.
You want to unpopular opinion? Braxton Jones still starts at left tackle.
Oh, I could see it.
I'm not saying it's not going to happen.
I could see it because that would be your belief. It's going to come down to what Ben Johnson believes in.
Mm-hmm. You'll draft a tackle. Like, don't get me wrong. They'll draft a tackle.
But you cannot build this fucking team right in his name in ink. Just like you can't say, oh, we drafted Karan Amagaji last year, so he's got to start.
Right.
No, fuck that. That is not how you do it. The Bears' two main targets in free agency have to be, if he's available, Trey Smith And on defense, Milton Williams from Philadelphia. Those have to be your top 2 targets.
Those
Have to be
100%. That's building the middle. That's what you have to do. And you get those 2 done, and now you're cooking with gat. The cap is going up every year. It's going to continue to go up.
Pat McAfee had the number, and it was ended up being $3 or almost $4 million higher than expected.
Than what Pat said?
No.
Pat had the actual number.
Had the number, and it
what is it?
185,
175.
No, it's higher than that.
Really?
275 or something like that. Yeah, it's
2. I meant 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is the thing that, Mike, I get texts.
The setup is going to be free agency.
Yeah, you don't know. It's
275.
Yeah,
says
you
James
can't
Hunter.
answer it right now. And listen, they may
3 in a row.
The way that it is set up right now, the way that I'm looking at it, is it very well could be a pass rusher is your best option.
I agree with you. Based on, you don't draft need, even though teams do. They go in and somehow the need goes up higher. So you got to be disciplined in that.
They end up drafting the best player
at the position
of need. Right.
Right. That's where you get in the, and I told Shane there's pass rushers in this draft that I love. I saw some.
He's going to go higher than that, Logan. I'll tell you that. Jack Sawyer, I would be shocked if he lasts round 2.
I think he's in the first round. I saw someone, Mikael Williams. I would be ecstatic.
We just had a conversation about him. Here, people are like, "Fuck it, I just don't see it."
He's a late first. I go, what? Both Georgia defensive linemen could be taken at 10. Both of them. It's just, I mean, but we're gonna break those down on.
We got him. We're huge fans.
I love James Pierce.
Yeah, and he's going to go a lot. I've had
people have him
in the second round. I'm like, what?
Second round?
What are you watching?
Second round.
Way. Walter Nolan. I haven't dove into Ryan Cox and I were talking about him.
Kid
today.
Mike Green from Marshall is gonna be a first round pick.
Oh, hell,
he's gonna be a first.
Watch some of his Senior Bowl stuff from today. Just fucking destroying offensive tackles.
Migraine.
What do you remember about Mike Green from the Bears? He was Mr. Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. He was going to come on the show with us. I got to get back to him. Number 43. I think that's one of the worst numbers. 43.
Here's this too.
Mike Green?
Saquon, he did not. Ryan Poles didn't drop the ball not getting Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was always going to Philly. Always. He wasn't coming to Chicago.
The Bears were involved. They actually probably offered a higher number. But he registered with going to the best offensive line. And who wouldn't?
Hard Knocks with the Giants. Do you remember their GM saying, hey, everything I'm hearing right now, Chicago's driving up the price, and we'll see what happens.
That's right.
Listen, and again, I'm going to repeat myself. People assume that every fucking player that's free wants to be a Bear. And it's just not. If you're Saquon Barkley, why the fuck would you come to Chicago? Why? Why? You go to Philly.
If you're betting on Caleb to be something, that would be the only reason. Because there's no other reason.
With an established offense, with the best offensive line in the NFL, top 2 at worst. He was never coming here. It's just like them saying, oh, they didn't offer Monty money. Yes, they did. Monty didn't want to be here anymore. It's just the fact.
It's tough.
Just because they're free doesn't mean that they want to be in Chicago. guys. And listen, I would love Saquon Barkley here. But come on, let's look at it through a clear lens. What would be the best for his career? Running back.
Look, he's in the Super Bowl, bro.
Exactly.
He's up for MVP. His number, I think he leads in every rushing category except touchdown runs. And guess what? They do the tush push. He would have fucking broke that shit if they gave him the ball at the 1 yard line all the time. He would have broken it. So, I mean, when going back to our draft coverage, I called Saquon a generational talent, like I called Brock Bowers a generational talent. Those things show up on tape. Again, it's not in vogue to say generational people, but I don't throw it around like that. And Caleb Williams, obviously, I have in that category too. So
that's free agency, Brandon. Every team tampers with every player. That's when they go to the NFL Combine in Indy, that's where it starts. That's where the groundwork for a lot of deals is set. It happens
100%.
with every team.
All this shit is going
You
down.
think that the Bears tampered with DeAndre Swift? They signed him.
Talking right now at the Senior Bowl.
Oh yeah, man. That's where.
Listen, I know you're
where the Bears are going to seal.
Think of us
with their offensive line coach.
We really like your guy, tight end. Want to add him with Cole. What do you just keep us in mind? We're going to reconvene this at the Combine. It's what's going down right now. They're also scouting the players that are there. And you got to do your due diligence. We all can see the Bears are very good in the secondary. They need another safety. But other than that, you love their nickel corner. I like the depth at corner. Terrell Smith offers a lot as a guy coming in if anyone's injured. I will say this. I hope Ben Johnson can handle Jalen Johnson, because Jalen can become a problem.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Dennis Allen plays a big key in that film.
I think Al Harris.
Well,
I didn't even get to talk about him.
The Bears are going to be. You aren't going to see this be a zone-based team.
No,
anymore.
Thank God.
But that in and of itself is going to excite Jalen Johnson. These guys want to run. They want to. They don't want to sit back.
I'm talking about when times get tough, Jalen. Like, Ben's got to nip that motherfucker right down, right away. You're in charge. You're the boss. I will say this, and we'll continue on there, but Al Harris was a guy that I pinned for defensive coordinator. And I was like, if the job opens up for Ben, who are the possible DCs? I have watched Al Harris coach, and when I was down in Dallas, just watching him teach, coach, and handle players, and he always was a thorn in the Bears' side as a player. To think of him coming to the Chicago Bears it's one of the more, I think it's the best signing for the coach so far, in my opinion. Randall L is a close second.
Yeah, and speaking of that, and before I forget, Phil, you and I were talking earlier, and I haven't heard anybody report on this because it was on the St. Brown podcast. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously his offensive coordinator, as everybody knows, was Ben Johnson, his wide receiver coach, Antoine Randall L. And Amon-Ra said that he found out Monday morning, fairly early, that Ben was heading to Chicago. he's in a group text with all of the wide receivers on the Detroit Lions. And who else is in that group text? Their wide receiver coach, Antoine Randall. So Amon-Ra admitted, he's like, man, that sucks. We're losing Ben. And then he's like, holy shit. They call him L. He said, L is from Chicago. And he's like, hold up for a minute. He goes to the group text and he sends a text to the group with Antoine Randall L in it and says, hey, are you going with Ben to Chicago? And nobody responded. And he said 2 minutes later, his fucking phone rang. And he looks down and it's from L, Antoine Randall L. He's like, yo, what's up? And Antoine Randall L says to Amon-Ra St. Brown, where did you hear that? Did that shit leak already? So it was set before that, obviously.
And that's how it should be. That's why I'm surprised, because I'm not the rah-rah. I've been burned too many times. I'm a wait and see who Ben is. I've shared with you what David Montgomery told me and a couple other guys about Ben. That is a check in his box. This offensive line coach stuff concerns me that you didn't, or maybe he did have a plan and they backed out. Maybe it was Hank Fraley coming over as the OC / offensive line coach, and then he backed out of there. Maybe that was it. But it worries me that you don't have the O-line coach, because it's so important. So important. And I know they've interviewed the Notre Dame guy, the Ohio State guy, and obviously Tulane's coach, who was a former Saints offensive line coach. And listen, once I see who these guys are on tape, I'll know.
Right. And Logan, yeah, he doesn't. I don't think Eric is talking about. He's talking about Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs. And everybody
Trey is an offensive guard.
Yeah, and everybody is saying that Kansas City they can't. It's a known fact in league circles that they can't pay him, and he's going to hit free agency. And we talked about a little bit earlier. Not only are they saying he's hitting free agency, everybody in league circles is already connecting him directly to Chicago, because Ryan Poles was a big part of him being drafted in Kansas City, and one of his closest friends and running mates at the University of Tennessee is Darnell Wright, our right tackle.
That'll be a big get for the Bears.
It sets the entire offseason. If he actually hits, you do what you have to do to secure him. And then after that, it makes everything easier in free agency and the draft. Everything.
Maybe they'll hire my guy Shaw for the offensive line coach. I wish. Then it's DJ Moore.
Oh, maybe you're talking. Yeah, that's the KC guard is Smith.
Trey Smith.
Trey Smith is his name, from Kansas City. Maybe you guys are talking about a different Smith from the Ravens. I don't know.
Logan's in his own fucking Office episode in the chat. That's what he fucking does. It's annoying as shit. Why don't you host your own show? I'm kidding.
Yeah, but what about Tevin? I don't think. I mean, unless it's a extremely team-friendly deal, and maybe Ben Johnson loves him. Maybe the new offensive line coach loves him.
You can't say never. You just gotta say.
But they can't.
I don't think so. I think the chance is like 20%.
They can't give him a fucking Robert Hunt type deal.
No.
Or anything like that. You know, maybe it's a 1-year prove it deal. If that's what he wants, yeah, I'll give him a 1-year prove it deal. But Tevin's biggest issue has not been.
Is someone going to go out there and give Tevin a big deal?
I don't see it, but
You never know.
Phil,
Right?
there's teams with tons of cap space, man, and you can't take it with you.
Well, we learned that with the Nate Davis shit.
Yeah.
So this is an important thing where Rick Smith's talking about the head Ben Johnson wanting them to be able, and I can't, maybe you can say the exact words, but you have to be unafraid of letting go of some of the guys that you drafted. I always talk about this with you guys.
Zach Pickens. You know what I mean?
You have to embrace the reality that they aren't good enough. You fucked up with Velus Jones. If is any smidgen of truth that there was a trade market for him and you decided not to, or you put his value higher than the running back coach, both of them, Morton and the female running back coach, should be gone and launched. Because if they told you he's going to, no, awful. You held on to him too long. You have to have that kind of structure where you're not afraid. And again, you have to be able to say, okay, this undrafted free agent, I know the new defensive coordinator for the Lions, they brought out that Hard Knocks clip of him yelling at the veteran saying, this kid's what round were you drafted in? Bro, I hate to say it. Well, you say it and you do it. You play the fucking rookie because he's playing and send the message that way. I know you're saying it on the tone. Now put it on the field. If we've had too many politics invading the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson has to be the valve to stop that shit. You've already stopped the Ted Phillips and the fucking shitty flights and the jokes about the Chicago Bears and how they're run. You went out and bought, the people's champ coach. You went out and got the people's champ coach. He was not my number one coach. He wasn't. So everybody that wants to sit there and put their arms over there and watch this, I support you. I'm okay with that. We've all been burned. But I think this situation is different because Ben has done it.
Well, and I think
as an offensive coordinator versus Nagy not.
And I think Ben Johnson has a whole lot of fucking power.
Yes.
About this roster.
So if he doesn't like Braxton Jones, Braxton ain't going to be fucking starting.
Well,
Coles isn't going to invade any decision. I feel that.
Yeah, I think Ben's got a lot of power, and if he sees a guy that he wants, especially in the draft, I think that's going to carry a whole bunch of fucking weight on draft day. Like if Ryan sees something a specific way and Ben Johnson sees it a different way on a player, I think it gets swayed to the head coach. He's got all the fucking juice.
Yeah. If we were putting a scale, Ben Johnson seems to have more pull in as far as personnel end all be alls.
And I think I think Rick Smith kind of alluded to that is, are you?
He should, to be honest, in my opinion.
Goddamn right, Phil. It's just like,
I don't trust polls.
I know we've been bagging on Liam Cohen, with his Duval and all of that shit.
Yeah.
I actually got to give him credit because I would have done the same fucking thing if Jacksonville pivoted back to me. So he was offered to
agree
be
with
the highest paid coordinator in the history of the NFL by Tampa. But the deal was contingent on him not negotiating anymore with Jacksonville.
Duval.
Exactly. He didn't sign that deal. But so that tells you, if you're Liam Cohen and his representatives, now you fucking own Jacksonville. They came back to you. So you get all the fucking power.
And let's just say
All of
this, that everyone's
and he went from being the highest paid coordinator to probably a top 6 or 7 highest paid coaches in the fucking league.
and I'm going to say this because everybody's piling on the guy. To your credit, once again, I'm sure someone will poach this from you tomorrow or this week, and Greg won't credit you at that point either. So I will right now. And I'll say this. There's no way head coach Tampa Bay Bucks is co-signing giving this guy the highest paid deal as an offensive coordinator if the dude isn't legit. Right? So there's 2 people battling for his services. And to your credit, he did the right thing and pivoted back and set himself up as the power player in Jacksonville. So you can make fun of his Duval all you fucking want, and you could be skeptic. That's good too, but
oh yeah, we don't know. It's just
this
funny.
guy could be the fucking best coach of the group.
It's funny to laugh at, but I mean, there is some red flags. Like, let me bring up his history here.
Oh yeah, he's like a freaking gypsy in coaching.
Duval.
So where is his?
He's constantly on the move.
So in 2020, he was with the Rams, and then he goes to Kentucky, and then he comes back to the Rams, and then goes back to Kentucky, and then Tampa, and then now he's the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. So and that's all from since 2020. LA,
He was at UMass, New Hampshire, Maine.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Every year he was somewhere else. There wasn't another coach the Bears had hired that followed that same trajectory where he was coach. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
He was like, he never stayed anywhere for more than a year. Remember that?
Yeah, it was semi-recent, but yeah. So here's as a coach, he was at Brown in 2010, Rhode Island in 2011, UMass.
That was a
2014,
URI.
Maine 2016, the Rams 2018, 2019. Then he became the assistant quarterbacks coach in 2020. Kentucky in 2021, back to the Rams in 2022. 2023, he was with Kentucky, back to Tampa in 2024, and now with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2025.
Duval.
Fuck you, Bullets.
That clip cracks me up every time. But yeah, I'm not gonna. It's the same with all of them. You know, I had Aaron Glenn ranked very high on my list. The Jets go with him. I was surprised that Mike McCarthy didn't get the Saints job, but I guess he's taking a break. He's going to sit out a year. He'll probably be on Fox Sports or something doing some stuff.
It wasn't Luke Getsy, was it, Phil?
Might have been Luke Getsy.
Because he was in Akron.
It might have been Luke.
Then West Virginia Wesleyan, then Pittsburgh, then Indiana, then Western
Texas
Michigan,
A&M,
then Green Bay, then to Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, that was it.
Then back to Green Bay, then to Chicago, Vegas, and now went back to
he's with the
Packers as a consultant. Now he's a senior offensive assistant.
That was it, Luke Getsy. Hey, we'll see who Mr. Liam Cohen is. And we'll see who Ben Johnson is. I will say this, having Antoine Randall L gives me good juju for DJ Moore, who is another serious concern based on what he put on the field effort blocking, effort through routes, all of that. Now, whether it was about Caleb, the play calling, or whatever, there's no excusing it.
No.
Run your fucking route and shut the fuck up. Don't go off to the side. He, more so than anybody, even I'll put Tyreek Stevenson out there. I put DJ Moore above them all in regards to how I feel what you put on tape doesn't sit well with me. Higher than all of them. Cole, all the culprits. DJ Moore, lackadaisical effort, all of that shit.
Yeah. And
Won't get paid and start acting like that. Hopefully Randall L puts it, or you trade his ass the fuck out of town.
And he wasn't alone in that, like you said, Phil. I mean, it was we saw it from Keenan. You saw all over the place with the team. And I mean, that's a direct reflection of the culture that you've built. That they, was
But
that
Shane,
was one of the things that they praised on.
They love the culture's not the problem, Shane. Remember me yelling at Cap?
Yeah.
Cap, stop. This fucking pathetic coach, offensive line coach sucks.
You're right.
That's where it is.
Yeah, and Montez Sweat did not quit. Montez Sweat was severely injured.
Dealing with a serious shin issue.
Yeah, and then it started to get better, and then he got nailed again. He was dealing with that in Buffalo when I was there. But, yeah.
If you've ever had a serious shin issue, you take a shot there, it becomes... We're not wearing those fucking Logan shin guards that he wears for his Filipino soccer team. Right?
Yeah, and let's put this out there, Phil. Phil and I are not drafting. We both love Ashton Genty, the player.
Oh my God, I love
fucking hell. I'm drafting him at
10. Can't draft him at 10.
Not on this roster.
Based on the running backs I see in this draft,
it's so fucking loaded. Phil, I'm telling you, there's fucking 13 of them in this draft.
The kid from Iowa. I mean, I don't know where people are saying he can go in the second round. First, Caleb. Get a Caleb with a K on the roster. Your boy Dylan Sampson.
Hendricks listened to fucking Yurko today. That's why he's bringing up Chase Young. They were given his PFF scores of why he should be considered in free agency. And just look at his fucking injury history. Why do we want to go there? He played good as a rookie and has been fucking massively injured and underperformed ever since. And he's still young. I get it, but stop. And I don't
see. Did he get injured this year?
And I don't see Khalil Mack coming back to Chicago.
I would love
him, but I don't.
If he came back, I would be happy. He's perfectly fine for me. He would be great, to be honest. Based on watching tape of him, it's the same story. He's getting doubles and triple, and he makes the plays. He's not putting up the numbers, but the year before he did. We've seen this. And pass rushers stay relevant for a while.
Yeah, they age. They do. But it's... I think everybody sees Chase Young and the way that he's fucking. I think there's a lot of Justin.
Not against Chase Young. I like Chase Young if he's healthy.
Yeah, and it's just
based on the number you're going to give him. Did he get injured this year?
I don't know how many games I can look it up, but he's still not. He was the number 2 pick in the fucking draft.
He came in late from injury. but I don't think he ended up getting injured, and he had a lot of good rushes on tape when I was even when I was watching them live.
Yeah,
but I'm not saying he's the must. You got Judkins, my MVP. That should have been MVP of that.
It's like he missed 3 games this year.
So he still has that pattern.
Yeah. He had 5.5 sacks. I just think people are intoxicated by the attributes and the way that he fucking, he looks like fucking the way that you'd build an NFL defensive end.
Last year's draft, was there a first round running back?
What's that?
Last year.
No.
2
years ago. That was Bijan and Jameer. Yeah.
Gibbs and Bijan went. Last year, no running backs in the first. So the Bears have 2 second-round picks.
Yep. Theirs in Carolina's, and they're going to both be pretty high.
So, I mean, the necessity, I believe running back is a necessity when I look at his offense.
100%.
It ain't going to be Rashawn Johnson and
no fucking way.
And Swift.
I mean, at fucking absolute best, if it's me, at best, Roshan is a third back. But even then, I see more upside in Ian Wheeler as a third back.
Oh, man, that kid. I wish he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, tore his ACL, man. That's a big deal, too. And it's not great for bigger running backs that are explosive like that either.
But let me ask you this. Would he have been used this year, in all honesty?
Probably not the way, but I mean, I think he was going to make the roster.
Okay.
They probably would have had him inactive on game day because
that's the dumb shit.
It is the dumb shit.
That's what Ben has to stop. Honestly, the easiest thing for the common fan to recognize is a running back. That guy, that's what football is on TV. You could see that really well. Everybody could do that. Wow, now how they rank them and all that, they can't, but they could just see that guy's a good runner. Oh, he's powerful. He's breaking tackle. The camera goes to them. They isolate on it. So you could see that. There's no doubt Ian Wheeler passed the eyeball test versus the other guys on the roster. Then
he looked so much faster than everybody else. I mean, I was literally right there in the first row watching him. I mean, he's got fucking tree trunks for legs, but he looked like he was in a different gear. But I think he's so fucking ridiculously raw, in terms of his pass pro was non-existent. He didn't know what the fuck to do, and that's why you saw them so hard on him in training camp. Chad Morton was always on his ass, just trying to get him because they saw everything else, man. You can't some of those things he had that you can't teach. Yeah, he played great in the Buffalo game. I think he had 2 touchdowns. I'll tell you what, if he would have had that fucking dump off that Swift got, he's housing that. He wouldn't have fucking tripped himself up like DeAndre Swift just goes up the fucking sideline for whatever reason. He cut back inside. He didn't even need to. And it's a fucking house call that game.
Muhammad El-Mi, $1.99. Just
I don't think he's overrated.
I don't think he's overrated.
Fucking amazing, but the Bears roster right now,
based on our roster need.
You ain't Detroit, and I was even bagging. Listen, nobody loved Jahmyr Gibbs. I can remember in mock drafts taking Jahmyr Gibbs if he would have fallen to 50 for the Bears, and people were having a fucking fit about that. And I'm like, oh my God, you just obviously haven't seen this dude play, but
he just eats up yards. He's so quick. And he's got great balance, Gibbs. Definite weapon. But not everybody's a Gibbs.
And I don't agree with Logan here either. I don't. He's just not a lead fucking back. I don't consider him a huge miss. I don't.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
We're saying that Caleb had fucking chaos on the offensive line. Did DeAndre? And he left. Yeah,
missed is Nate Davis. That's a huge miss.
Yeah.
Swift,
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool, huge miss. Swift
He
gives you production and
he
could
be the guy that they a name guy that they move off of, because don't forget they traded it. They gave him away to Philly when Ben Johnson was the OC in Detroit. So it'll be interesting to see. But
the St. Browns should have him on their podcast.
Yeah. Well, he loves Swift. He was one of the guys that he singled out. He's like,
no, I'm saying to talk to him about Ben.
Oh, yeah.
See what Swift has to say about Ben.
Yeah, and he's not a lead back. He's going to be a guy that should work in tandem, and that's exactly what they should do.
This is the same team that put Travis Homer out there.
Yeah.
Let's just think about this. Cameron Scatterboot, I love the dude. Another guy that you can get later in the draft. Amarian Hampton will probably go in the second round. Right? And
from UNC, yeah.
Big back, good speed. How about your boy from Syracuse? I know he's in this draft.
Oh, LaQuint Allen? Yeah.
Yeah, Allen.
He's going to give you – he's very, very interesting.
He's at the Senior Bowl, right?
Is he at the Senior Bowl? I
believe he's at the Senior Bowl. Why are they putting both on the same week?
Well, they're trying because the East-West is
competing.
The East-West Shrine's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Kyle McCord is the quarterback. Aronde Gadsden's there. But LaQuint Allen is a very interesting player. He's definitely got a role in the league, 100%. But he's going to be.
You saw him close up.
Oh yeah, he's a guy that ends up in Philly in like round 5 and makes an impact in the passing game, especially. Yeah, he's a good player.
Scatterboot, going back to him, Scatterboot comes in and gives you a certain identity on top of what his skill set is. And I don't think that gives him more relevance to me. Like Ryan Post talks about getting football players.
Herbert sucked this year, and he still can't fucking do anything in pass pro.
One of my sleeper
36 carries, 130 yards. And that was between two teams. So yeah, let's keep that guy.
Of Khalil Herbert, my sleeper back is a good segue, because Herbert played at Va Tech.
Yep.
So Bashul Tootin, Rootin' Tootin. He's a fucking guy that you gotta watch. You know, second. No, he'll be like third or fourth round, probably. But I'm telling you right now, mark that name down. And we'll make sure. And I know Shane loves Sampson. I like Sampson a lot too.
Yeah, but I'm right there with you with Caleb Johnson. I mean, that Judkins, Phil, you and I.
Judkins, oh my God. I would be so stoked. Again, another attitude back.
He would fit so fucking well with DeAndre Swift.
That would be the perfect matchup.
He would be the perfect complement.
Scatterboot too. Scatterboot would do it, but Judkins has more speed. Scatterboot is that same. I think Judkins, obviously. I have Judkins over Scatterboot.
Listen, where did that go? And this is what I've seen from a lot of people. And I hear it on the fucking radio. Pat the designer is another guy that's been pushing this thing.
What's that?
The Bears taking the punter over Bucky Irving. And that's great. Bucky is a
we're
fantastic running
recreating
back.
history.
But Anthony, were you banging the table on draft day for Bucky Irving? Pat the designer, were you banging the table for Bucky Irving on draft day in the 4th round? Or are you like, oh, this dude's fucking, look what he just did as a rookie. Why didn't we draft him? That's the shit that you can't do. Everybody has misses. Everybody does. I get it, but you can't go back and say, oh, I would have taken this dude in the 4th round. This dude I would have taken in the 5th round, 6th round. It just doesn't work that way. And I'm not saying that you did that, Anthony. Maybe you're the biggest Bucky Irving fan that there is, but I'm saying so many people fall into that fucking trap of, oh my God, look how good this dude did. I can't believe we didn't draft him. Well, you weren't banging the fucking table for him either. Situations matter.
I believe that when you look at the punter, he actually had a good year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
was for the punter.
I know me. Yeah, I was excited about it. I get it, but I just know me. I wasn't going to draft a fucking punter in round 4.
Yeah, I get it.
Whatever. It just is what it is. I said the same thing about fucking Velus Jones. Would have never. Well, I had a meltdown live on air because the Bears were on the fucking. Matt Waldman and I were both talking.
I wanted Romeo Dobbs right there. Romeo was my guy, as we can all pull that.
I think he ended up going earlier, though, right? Because the other
Romeo
guy
went 5th.
Dobbs won the 5th round. He did
5th round.
Who am I thinking? Was the kid from Michigan State that went earlier last year for him? I can't remember. But anyways, Matt Waldman and I were both talking about Khalil Shakir. So he was on the fucking board. The Bears traded out of that pick to Buffalo, and Buffalo drafted him in Chicago's slot. And he's not a world beater. He's just a damn good wide receiver.
Yeah. Hufanga was another one of my guys that Logan's bringing up here. Did a lot of tape on him. You had to come away with Hufanga. That was my goal in the draft. Somehow you were going to have to come away with him and Romeo Dobbs. But we didn't. We got Velus. But that, it is what it is. Now we have to see what they're going to do. In regards to running back, they need speed at receiver. Do they hit free agency?
Well, and listen.
Here he is, right on cue.
Right.
Chicago's finest. What's up, brother?
But this is where Tyler Scott is where you find out. This is where a guy like Antoine Randall L comes in and can have an impact on a guy like Tyler Scott who struggles tracking the football. But the speed element is there. And that's why I think Keenan Allen is going to be a former Chicago
running fades.
Exactly.
How about some rub routes and get his speed, some separation, and a 10-yard route that turns into 30, 40 yards? None of that was even tried. There's a lot of speed receivers in this draft. Obviously, you got Ibuka coming out, who's declared, so he'll be in the draft. The kid from Texas. One of my buddies said he might challenge Worthy for that 40-yard record. I go, are you shitting me? Bond? I think is that his name?
Oh yeah, he's from Alabama. They lost.
That's right. He transferred.
Isaiah Bond. Yeah.
So you know that kid's a legit 4-2 guy.
But the problem is he might be running wide open 60 yards wide open and the fucking ball bounces off his face mask also.
Chase Daniel. Guy's got a platform. Ryan Cox just stir my pot. Well, thank you, Chicago's Finest. $3. I know we got a bunch of super chats going out there.
Throw them up there.
Big Chubbs. $5. My guy. Bring back the Honey Bears. We need to bring back all of the great stuff. I agree. It's like Virginia hasn't. What are we doing here? On one end, I just want to say this. On one end, Virginia abolished the cheerleader, and I'm going from one of the players saying because she thought they'd be a distraction to the players for sex and things. Okay. Then in the same breath, years later, she's talking about how she had a crush on Sid Luckman's ass. How he had a cute ass. What? Like, we could be funny about this shit later in life, but it just doesn't add up. What is the point? And if there's any semblance of truth to the curse of the Honey Bears, get rid of it. Bring them back.
Real quick, don't delete it. I just want to address Mr. Bullets here, the big Notre Dame fan. You'd think that he would know that Jeremiah Love isn't even draft eligible. He can't even be in the draft. So that's why.
Fuck you, Bullets.
That's why you have not heard about him being declaring for the draft.
Bullets, the Chris Canty.
You have to be 3 years removed from your high school graduation. And this was his true sophomore season in Notre Dame before they got smacked in the national title game.
They came back, bro. They didn't get smacked.
Yeah, and guess what?
Why is Notre Dame giving Manti Te'o a fucking spotlight?
Because it's Notre Dame, bro.
Don't let me go down this.
It's Notre Dame.
It's just like, wait, what?
Go back in
all of these guys, and you bring out
recruiting magazine for the past 30 fucking years. Every one of them.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame is always ranked in the top fucking 3 of recruiting. Every fucking goddamn year. Every year.
Did you see Bon Jovi and the comedian are going to have a concert to pay for NIL?
For who? Rutgers?
No, for Notre Dame.
Oh, really?
Yes. He wants to help Notre Dame out. He's going to have a benefit and the comedian.
Yeah, because Lord, they can't afford it them fucking selves, right? Jesus Christ.
The fathers are driving around in Range Rovers, tinted. Chubb's $5. I'm going to change my debit card just so I can get called out for getting declined.
There you go.
That's always a smart move, Chubbs.
It is.
Hold on. Chubbs back again for more. Sham wow. Chubbs, 82, $2. I was born in Decatur. It's in my blood.
Nice.
I don't know what that's in reference to, Shane.
That was when we were talking about the hospital.
Ivan's birth.
Yeah, Cherie was born in a grocery store out back. Isn't that what she said?
In line at Red Lobster.
Oh, in line at Red Lobster. What was the name of it? The name of the hospital again? It rhymed with something. What was it again? I can't remember.
Some crazy
clothes. I said I was born at Jackson Park Hospital.
Oh no! What was
corner?
It? What was it?
Wait, she said
Was it Ivan?
Yeah,
I said on 75th and Stony.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's where I got the crabs.
Stony, yeah.
Stony crabs.
Yeah.
75th and Stony. She was born.
Miss Deborah, where are you at?
True Southsiders know what that is, where that is.
Do you still have your birth certificate?
Yeah.
What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
Oh,
Nicole? It's not a
Cherie? No, your mom got all crazy. Cherie,
name me because my mom wasn't prepared for me.
Cherie Nicole, you pick up that third Barbie Dream House right now.
Cherie Nicole. Did you get the middle name called out?
Every once in a while, yeah, but I was a good kid. So
have we addressed the middle names of everybody on here?
I don't know, but when my mom called that out, I knew I was fucking.
Do you guys know my middle name?
Yes, Larry.
No, fucking Larry. It's close, but
Lawrence.
What is it?
Lawrence.
Lawrence, yes. Because I was born on my grandfather's name was Lawrence. And I was born on his birthday.
Lawrence River, Cherie. He was
my mom jumped into the St. Lawrence River and boom there. No, but I was
born on the river.
I was supposed to be Shane David, but I was born on my grandfather's birthday. So
SDM.
Yep.
Now it's SLM.
Bill, what is your middle name?
Anthony.
Philip Anthony.
So if my mom, Philip Anthony, get in this house, right? Oh, I was done.
Yeah.
The belt was coming out, or the fucking wooden spoon. One of those two.
I didn't have those problems. Like I said, I was a good kid, and I was sensitive, which I still am.
No.
All they had to do was tell me that they were disappointed in me, and I would just break out crying. So they didn't really have to whoop me.
Oh my God! You wait till the text that's coming after the show.
Oh Jesus!
I'm so disappointed.
Rob Thames. I thought people were sharing their middle names, but they were just guessing yours.
I know what Guy Finley's middle name is. Guaranteed, it's Carol.
Smiley.
Guy Carol Finley.
Guy.
Pete Carroll fan, yeah.
Was Guy crying tears when Pete was named the Raiders coach?
Yeah, he looked, he was like that.
Anthony Paget? You got two Anthonys? Was your dad a boxer, Anthony?
I have that's not my name, Kurt. You spelled my name wrong. Greg only has one G in it at the end.
Greg should have two G's in it.
Yeah.
Greg should have two G's. The fact that he only has one makes him less of a Greg, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's gonna go for the Super Bowl in the AFC West with Russell Wilson.
Russ, we trust.
I think they'll sign Sam Darnold, but we'll see.
That's going to be an interesting.
Word is Pittsburgh wants Justin back.
Well, Chase Daniels jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean that was announced before Chase did it, so
I think Greg.
I said at the end.
At the end, Greg, if you were listening.
He wasn't.
Of course he wasn't. He was so busy in his fucking phone.
Adam Hogue. Phil and Jane have been so mean to me. You don't even realize. Phil told me to fuck off earlier. Bullshit. I'm leaving for New Orleans. You guys don't even know how tough it is. Have you ever had to fly to the Super Bowl and talk to people all week? Fucking terrible. I'm so tired.
Oh my God. Yep. Anybody with the middle name Anthony is cool with me. They're always the coolest. The coolest of the cool.
That's my little brother's middle name.
And he's probably cool as shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Cherie Amal.
Jesus Christ. Everybody's names. Look at everybody's got the same middle name as Phil.
Yeah, we got a lot of Anthonys. And Anthony, imagine Anthony has an Anthony. Mike has Anthony as well.
I have a buddy that lives in Carthage, New York, and his last name is Ryan. Do you have any guesses what his first name is?
Cunts.
No. Last name Ryan, first name Ryan.
Come on.
I swear to God.
This fucking dad's a dick.
Ryan. Yeah.
Who decided? Ryan. What's
Yeah.
his middle name? Ryan
Yeah.
or Greg?
Probably Greg, yeah, with 4 G's.
4 G's.
2 in the beginning, 2 on the end.
Greg.
Abdirashid?
Cherie?
Is that is that how you pronounce it? Abdirashid?
Adirashid?
Well, it's
I
not
think it's a
shad
she.
if it's an
It's a
I on
she.
the end.
It's a she.
Abdirashid?
Yeah.
He likes all those Abdirashidi receivers from OSU, right? JSN?
I think Abukin or Eric Lambert. One of them will be running routes.
No, I'm Hacks. I will literally. Oh, I'm trying to put it up there. He's a huge football fan. I will
Bring him on.
I will bring him on the show.
Bring on Ryan.
I am not kidding you. Ryan is his name.
I just want to know how CHGO hasn't sent anybody to the Senior Bowl. That's a big drop, bro. That's a big disappointment.
Greg told me that he had no interest in going to the Senior Bowl because he's not into the draft. He said it doesn't really matter. It's so sad.
I don't get that, Cherie. Michael James.
He said it's not James, it's Hamas. Mike Hamas Huff.
Hamas,
yes. It's Hamas.
Hey, Jaime. Michael
What do we
James.
think Ivan's middle name is?
Oh, that's a good one. Cherie, you got a guess?
I think it's like Janet or something weird like that.
Ivan.
Engelbert.
Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, I have Tito.
Oh, Jesus.
Ivan Tito Vargas. It fucking sounds good. Ivan Tito Vargas. Ivan Drakinski.
Abdirashid. Is that Cherie? Is that how you say it? You think?
Abdirashid.
I mean, yeah, that's what it looked like.
Well, I'm just gonna call him Mo.
Shane, we have breaking news.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nicholas Moriano is covering.
Nicholas Moriano from It's the Bigs.
It's the Bigs. Where's my boy Herb? We got to get him on the show.
Ivan Elvis Vargas. That would be fucking.
That would be fucking.
His middle name is Elvis. I will never not call him Elvis from this day forward.
You are listening to the tape. We should call Elvis.
We haven't confirmed if that's right.
Huh?
No, we have no.
Mo didn't. He commented, but he didn't confirm if you said it.
Fucking Mo is on his own show with Logan.
Mo, that is.
Follow along, Mo. Did we get it right, Mo?
We did.
He wants to know. I like Elvis better than Tito. But Tito would be great.
Alan Bratcher's got a fucking crazy ass middle name. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
You got it, Shane.
See?
There you go.
You're Rashid.
Alan Umbrella Bratcher.
Could be.
Alan Neo. How did I fuck that one?
Yeah, Neo, right. Alan. Maybe it's Fat Mike. Alan Fat Mike Bratcher.
Is that dude still around?
I think he's on vacation. It's
not Alan.
Dog poop freezes in the wintertime.
Oh. It's still dog's poop, bro.
I think it pops up on my phone sometimes. Like if you have like Snapchat, I'll say you have a common like Aldo pops up all the fucking time on my thing. Says you have a
Fat Mike, the fucking Brett Favre fan.
Yeah. Imagine that.
That was his worst move ever. Sharing that with you.
Yeah, I have a video still of that.
Ivan
fucking Vargas.
That is a good guy. Is a fullback, bro. He's built like a fullback. He lives life like a fullback.
What's Bullet's middle name?
Bullets.
Can't be.
His name is Bullets.
Probably Cairo. He just won't fucking tell anybody.
Egypt.
I'm gonna have to text Alan Bratcher and ask him what his middle name is.
Bullets doesn't have one. He's got 6. Knowing Bullets. There he is.
Oh, so this is fucking fantastic. So let's see what time this fucking tweet came out. Oh, and look at that. 10:43. So, all right, 9 minutes ago.
9 minutes.
Eric Lambert says, you got to wonder if the Bears aren't using these interviews as ways to get details on draft prospects. Wonder where the fuck you heard that from, buddy. Thanks for watching.
Poaching.
Well, that's all he does.
Poaching.
By the way, Eric Lambert is not a Bears insider. He's never even had 2 fingers insider.
Look, he's still telling you.
I think Mo may be a little hot behind on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Mo is in another country.
Hit that go live, Mo.
Go live.
Text
Christopher
me at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Aloysius.
Oh, I'm just finishing up the show. You guys gonna talk about the backup left tackle from Mount Union?
Yeah, bro. Big tight end.
Aloysius.
Aloysius is a great name.
We love Jackal. Everybody send some positivity that guy's way.
You gotta really look to the heart of Jackal. Send him all your TTNL positivity towards Jackal. He's been dealing with a lot.
We love you, Jackal.
I love Jackal.
Cherie
Jackal
might not love him so much.
I do love Jackal.
We've heard otherwise, Cherie. It's just so sad. He's such a good man.
Jackal's my guy.
Jackal does not have 3 G's in his name.
No.
Thankfully. Jackal is very missed.
Yeah, we love him. But actually, yeah, all bullshit aside, send positive thoughts Mr. Jackal's way. He definitely could use them.
Yes.
Love him.
Well, anything else on the agenda?
Yes.
Harold Fannin.
It's probably the best laugh on podcasting right there.
I don't know about that, Shane.
I don't know, man. You don't love that, Cherie? The Phil laugh? Well, just listen to it.